ZABoxingNation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. Today is August 12th, 2025, and today's lineup is extremely stacked. We've got an urgent new safety reforms shaking up the Japanese boxing scene. Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn locking in their high-stakes rematch, and a heavyweight crossroads fight between Dillian Whyte and the rising star Moses Itauma, and a headline U.S. fight in Philadelphia between Jaron Ennis, who's making his 154-pound debut, against IBL champ Uisma Lima. And of course, we'll wrap this up with your favorite segment on this day in boxing history. Let's break this all down. First, we head to Japan, where the boxing community is still grieving the tragic losses of super featherweight Shigetoshi Kotari and lightweight Hiromasa Yuakawa. Both fighters passed away after fights in Tokyo on the same card, sparking a national outrage that calls for immediate change. The Japanese Boxing Commission has now announced a sweeping safety reforms. These include pre-fight dehydration, urine tests to stop fighters from stepping into the ring dangerously underweight due to extreme water cuts. There will also be tighter weight cut limits, enhanced pre-bout medical screenings, and upgraded ringside medical protocols. This isn't just policy, it's a cultural shift. Japan's fighters are famous for pushing their bodies to the edge. But now the sport there is prioritizing long-term health over making weight at all costs. If their reforms prove successful, other major commissions in Nevada, California, and the UK could all follow. Weight cutting is one of boxing's most dangerous practices. Severe dehydration increases the risk of brain swelling and can sap a fighter's ability to take a punch. The hope is that these changes mean no fighter anywhere has to pay the ultimate price for stepping into the ring. From tragedy to pure rivalry, Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn II is official. This fight will take place in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium November 15th. Their first fight was extremely intense, both in and out of the ring, with Eubank Jr. winning decisively thanks to his sharp jab, patient counters, his composed approach, and his veteran poise. I admit, Conor Benn did do well. He had a lot of aggression, and he landed some great power shots, but ultimately, Eubank Jr.'s boxing did the job. This time, Ben says he's a smarter fighter, promising controlled pressure rather than reckless headhunting. Eubank Jr., on the other hand, says nothing has changed. He's still disciplined. He will once again expose Conor Benn's mistakes in the ring. Promoter Eddie Hearn is calling this fight round 13 of their rivalry, hinting that it could be even more brutal than the first fight. And of course, the backdrop makes it even bigger. Their fathers, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr., had one of the greatest rivalries in the 90s. This fight is more than 30 years in the making. It's about more than rankings. It's about pride, legacy, and bragging rights that will last a lifetime. Now, over to the heavyweights in a real crossroads fight. Dillian Whyte, who takes on 20-year-old phenom Moses Itauma in Riyadh as part of Riyadh's season boxing series. Dillian Whyte has been out of the spotlight, but his recent transformation has caught everyone's attention. After being cleared of all his wrongdoing and his supplements case, he's on a mission to prove he's still a legitimate heavyweight contender. Now, Moses Itauma, meanwhile, has been hyped as a future superstar in the heavyweight division. He's undefeated, explosive, and already drawing comparisons to a young Mike Tyson. But he's never faced anyone with Dillian Whyte's grit, experience, veteran poise, and ability to drag a fight into deep waters.
Despite a short 3-month break,
now, if
Itauma
Moses
entered the ring
Itauma
with
wins
confidence
big,
that
he
would
launches
continue his
himself
unbeaten
into the
streak.
top tier and upper echelon of this division. And if Dillian Whyte wins, it's the ultimate career revival. And it could derail Moses Itauma's hype train before it even picks up full speed. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And Jaron boosts Ennis enters this fight. 34 wins, 0 losses, and 30 big wins coming by way of knockout. Standing at 5'10 with a 74-inch gifted switch hitter from Philadelphia. His speed, shot selection, and ring IQ make him one of the sport's most dangerous fighters. But this is his first fight at 154 pounds, so we really have to see how he adjusts. But Uisma Lima, who is 14 wins, 1 loss, with 10 big wins coming by way of knockout, is a 32-year-old from Angola and now based in Portugal. He's got solid power and a respectable rise since debuting in 2019, but lacks Ennis's footwork, timing, and adaptability in the ring. That's why I feel that Jaron boosts Ennis will capitalize. This guy has to be planted in order to throw his power shots. Jaron boosts Ennis can punch on the move. He has great in and out movement, great lateral movement. And Jaron boosts Ennis is just overall a generational talent. He just has to get in there with these bigger names. On paper, this is a tune-up fight. Uisma Lima's best assets are his straight punches, and he has decent pop, but his tendency to square up plays right into Boots' hand. For Uisma Lima to win, he needs Jaron boosts Ennis to make massive mistakes in this fight, something that the Philly star rarely ever does. So, is this a cherry pick? You could call it that, but Jaron boosts Ennis' team says that this is a low-risk way to test the waters at the new weight division. He's looking to grab a belt, set up those major fights that we all want in 2026. But still, most fans were hoping for either Ramos, Ortiz, or Erickson Lubin. With that being said, every time Jaron boosts Ennis fights, you know you're going to be watching. So everybody tune in. Now, for your favorite segment, on this day in boxing history. In the 2000s in Las Vegas, Evander Holyfield defeated John Ruiz by unanimous decision to win the vacant WBA heavyweight title, becoming the only 4-time world heavyweight champion in history. The decision was extremely controversial, with many believing that Ruiz's aggression deserved the nod in the fight. In 1988, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury was born in Manchester, England. 3 months premature, weighing just 1 pound, named after Mike Tyson. Tyson the Gypsy King Fury would grow into one of the most charismatic, dominant heavyweights ever. In 2025, ESPN reports that the bantamweight champ Junto Nakatani plans to move up to junior bantamweight to challenge Naoya Inoue in 2026. And that's only if Naoya Inoue can get past his next fight in Akhmadaliev. Both fighters has verbally agreed to this fight, but Naoya Inoue must face Akhmadaliev, like I said, later this year, and that could be a dangerous hurdle before that Japanese super fight against Junto Nakatani. Let me know how you guys feel about all of these fights in the comments below. That's it for today's boxing news breakdown. From Japan's life-saving reforms to
Down right here.
Eubank versus Ben's generational rematch, a heavyweight fight in Riyadh, and Jaron boosts Ennis move up to 154 pounds. That's it for today's breakdown. From Japan's life-saving reforms to Eubank and Ben's generational rematch that was 30 years in the making, a heavyweight clash in Riyadh, and Jaron boosts Ennis move up to 154 pounds. The sport is buzzing. Which story has you most hyped? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an update. This is ZABoxingNation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. And if you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.